In this lesson, we will identify even and odd functions. An even function is one that is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. So if I can take it and fold it in half this way, then it's an even function. An odd function is symmetric with respect to the origin, which means if I can take whatever's in the first quadrant and rotate it to the third quadrant, take whatever's in the second, rotate it to the fourth, etc., that's going to be an odd function. So what's important here is obviously if it's graphed, it's pretty easy to tell if it's even or odd just based on looking at the graph. But this occurs for an even function when all x values have an even degree. So for instance, if I had y equals x squared plus 3, this is an even degree of 2, this is an even degree of 0, so this would be an even function, meaning if I graphed it, it would be a parabola that is 3 units up on the y. It would look like that, and obviously I could fold it in half on the y. The odd would have to be that all x values have an odd degree and there's no constant present, which means I could have y equals x cubed, which is an odd number, plus x, which is an odd. But if I had a constant like plus 1 or plus 4, then it would no longer be an odd function. So those are things to look for in your functions. So looking at this one, I see that I have an even, and this is essentially x to the 0, which we'll call even. So in this one, this would be considered an even function for that reason. Now feel free to graph this function using a graphing calculator to verify that yes, you could in fact fold it across the y-axis. On this one, I have an odd degree, but then I have an even. So I have an odd, an even, and an odd again, which means this one is neither. This one is odd degree, no constant, so this would be an odd function. Looking at this one's a little bit nicer because now I've got the actual graph. So can I fold it this way and get the same thing on both sides? Yes, I could. So that would be considered an even function because I can fold it across the y-axis. It wouldn't be odd because I can't take this and write it over here because that would look like this. So clearly not an odd function. Here are 2 for you to try. So press pause, do both of these questions, and then press play to check your work. For the first, I have an even, and this is x to the 0, so that's even. So this would be, yes, considered an even function. For this one, I can't fold it in half on the y, so it's not even. But if I took all of the stuff here in first quadrant and I rotated it to the third quadrant, would it match up? Yes, it would, which means I could take it and rotate the whole thing 180 degrees. So this is in fact an odd function.